Okay, in this video, we're finally going to get back to coding after a couple of videos talking about settings and setup. In this one, we're going to talk about coding the hero section, which I call this here the hero section. So let's get into Sublime Text and we'll see what we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and make this full screen just for a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a div called hero right here. So right here is the index page, and this is going to insert itself after the navigation on our home page. So let's go here and let's add a hero. So all right, so we have our div called hero, and we need to be able to get to this in Sass. So we need a hero.sass, which I've already added over here. If you look over here in the components, there is hero.sass, which is currently empty, underscore hero.sass. And then if we go down into our new.scss file, you'll see that I just copied and pasted our components navigation, and I've got components/hero there. So what I want open is I want this index.html open, I want hero.sass open, because we're going to be going back and forth between those two. And I'm going to go ahead and make this half the screen. Now, I want to say real quick that I'm running gulp. It's running browser sync, and we've already set all that up. And so as I make changes, those changes should appear live. And I also want to remind you of what we're trying to make here. So let me go here into my design and zoom out. This is what we're coding out right here, this design, this section right there. So let's get to it. All right, so we have our hero div that's added. We have our hero div that's added, and I just tried to make two panes, and the shortcut for two panes in Sublime Text is the same one for stopping in my in my recording software. So I'm gonna have to go up here to do that. So we're gonna go View, Layout, two columns, and I'm gonna drag hero.sass over to here so we can look at them both at the same time. All right, so we have our div.hero, and what do I want to do? I want to add another div here that's center, so we can center all this content. So this background picture is going to be a div, and then this content here is going to be another div. So let's call that div main CTA, call to action. Okay, so I am going to do this again. All right, and inside of this main call to action, we need to put some stuff. We need to put our heading that says we're the Reese family. And so let's make this a heading 1, and we'll say we are the Reese family. And then if you look at the design, there's actually 3 lines in the heading, and the middle one needs to be a smaller font. And so the way I'm going to do that is with break tags and a span tag. So I'm going to put a break tag here. All right. And okay, and then let's do span, and we want to be your missionaries to China, Thailand. Okay, after here we'll put another break tag, and then oh, we want to be your missionaries. This one needs to be to Thailand. Like that. All right, so we should have 3 lines with the middle one in a span. Heading 1, there we go. All right, now we have to take CSS and make this look kind of good. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go in here, and we're gonna start with period hero. All right, and we want this to be, we want it to be as wide as the screen. So we're gonna say width 100%. We're going to say the min height for it is going to be, let's say 900 pixels. And we want to do display flex. And we're going to say justify content center, because we want that one. The way Flexbox works, remember, Flexbox can only see an element that has display flex can only see the child elements of it. So Flexbox doesn't care at all about this heading. Flexbox only cares about this main CTA at this point. So when we say justify content center, what it's going to do is it's going to center this box in the row direction, because that's where we are right now. So this way. And then we're going to do align items, which is the other direction, and we're going to do center on that as well. So we should have this centered in our box if this works right. There we have it. It's working. Beautiful. Okay. So now we have our heading 1, and well, you know what? Let's do the background. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something here for the header image. Okay. I could do this 2 ways at this point. All right. We know we want the background to be a background image for this div. I know that it needs to be controlled by CSS because we're going to use background size cover. But the problem with putting it in the style sheet is that if I put it in the style sheet, then it won't be accessible to Jekyll. Jekyll, we won't be able to control it with front matter. And I want this header image here to control this. So I'm actually going to put that style in line right here. And we're going to do style background, and we're going to do URL, and then I'm going to do my 2 sets of curly braces, and we're going to do page, because all of this is controlled with the page variable, and then dot header image. Okay, and then I'm going to do no repeat, and let's do center, semicolon. And then the other thing I wanted to do is I want to do background size cover. All right, so now that is going to be controlled by this here, but the problem is there's nothing there now, so it's just going to throw nothing in there. Okay, it's refreshing, but it's going to throw nothing in there because there's no picture. Well, I've already taken that picture in Sketch, and I've put it in my uploads folder. Actually, I put it in the assets, design, and I believe it is it this one? Main background? Yep, it's this main background picture. So I need to go here, and for the video URL, let's do assets, design, main underscore background dot PNG. Save that. Okay, that didn't work, so we might need to do this. And just to be safe, let's put it in quotes. Oh, you know what? The problem is I put it in the wrong spot. So let's go up here. You gotta pay attention to what you're doing. All right, so we have the background there, and it's responsive, it's gonna cover, and that's great. Now, let's go back to our design and look at what we need to do for this heading 1. So I need this to be 50 points and bold and uppercase. And then I need the span to be 25 points and bold and gray. And then I need this to be 50 points and bold and uppercase too. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go, we want to just target this H1. So we're going to do main CTA. The way Sass works is it's nested by tabs. So the fact that this is tabbed in is just our way of knowing that it's inside the hero. And then we're going to tab into that, and we're going to do H1, and we're going to say font size 50 pixels. We're going to say font weight is bold. No, keeps doing that, bold. Okay, and then we're going to do text transform uppercase. And let's see, let's do text align center. And let's make sure we have no margin on the bottom. And let's do line height. Let's do 50 pixels for here. All right, let's see what that does for us. Okay. That is pretty good, but I want the center line again to be smaller. I think it was 25 pixels, and that's inside of a span in the H1. So we're going to tab over here, and we're going to say font size 25 pixels. We're going to say line height. Let's just start with 25 pixels. We're probably going to have to change that. And then we need our color. And what should I do for that? Let's do lighten. And we're going to do our lighten, our main dark color. And let's say 30%. Let's just test this out. Okay, everything looks good except for the line height. All right, I think this one here is still too much. So let's say this is 25 pixels and this one is 50 pixels. I changed the wrong thing. There we go. That is exactly what I want it to look like. Okay, so we have we've got the heading done. Now let's look at our design again. The next thing we have is we have a video, and so I've actually gone to Vimeo where that picture where that was, and I've gotten the iframe for embedding. So I'm just going to go ahead and embed that here. Okay, which tells me I need some margin underneath this. So let's go. Yeah, I think I'll be fine if I do margin bottom 50 pixels here. Okay, that looks really good. Is it centered? I think it's centered. Just to be sure that it's centered, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go up to here because this dot main CTA is the parent element of that iframe. And I think if we do text align center, then that should make sure that that's centered. All right, that looks pretty good to me. A couple of things I need to do. Other things that I need to do is I need to add these buttons down here. And to do that, what I'm going to do is, originally what I had planned on doing is I planned on doing these buttons here as, I planned on having just having this all done in plain HTML. And it's certainly possible to do this in HTML and CSS. But as I started working on it, I was like, this is a lot of work, and there's really no reason to do all this work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save these as images. So let me export this as a ping, and we'll call this, we'll put this in our one page, Thailight. Let's say assets, design, and we're going to call this one schedule button dark. Yeah, schedule button dark.png. All right, and we're going to do this same thing. And we're going to call this one info button dark.png. All right, and so let's go back and now we can use them. Okay, so now they should be ready to go. But I have to code them in first. So we're still inside this main call to action, and I want these buttons to be underneath that and to sort of hover in the middle there. So what would be the best way to do that? Let's make a div, and we'll call this CTA-buttons. And then inside the div, all we need to do is put A's, anchor tags. So we can do A dot schedule button. Just do A dot schedule. For now, I'll just put a number symbol in there. And we'll put schedule a meeting. And then we'll do another one, A dot info. Again, we'll put a number in there. And in this case, we're going to do download our info packet. We save those. Okay, now those buttons, they're really faint. You can't really see them in there, but they're there. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to move this over here, and let's go to View, Layout, Single. All right, so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better, and I need to go back to this level. Actually, we're inside of main call to action, and it was called our CTA button. Let's make that buttons. So we're going to do .cta buttons, and we're going to say we want this to be display flex, and we want it to be justify content space around. And then for both of these buttons, what I'm going to want is I'm going to want a text indent that takes stuff off of the screen. So let's do A, and we're going to do text indent. Let's say negative 8,000 pixels, I guess. And that will move it off the screen. And let's say, and dot schedule. So we'll do schedule. And our dot schedule, we want to do background URL, and we are in assets, uploads. Let's see here again, design, schedule button dark dot ping. So let's do schedule button dark dot png. We want no repeat, top left. Save that. Maybe I need to do this. All right, let's do this. Let's say, what did I mess up there? All right, let's say this needs to be display block. Okay. I don't think that should matter. Stumped for a second here. Think. All right, my first guess. Oh, assets. The URL's wrong. Assets design. And that was it. Okay, now the width and height of this is wrong, so I need to figure out what the width and height of that image is. What would be the easiest way to do that? Probably go into Sketch, select this. Looks like we're at 192 and 55. So we will say width 192 pixels, height 55 pixels. I'm going to go ahead and give a line height of 55 pixels. Save that. Beautiful, beautiful. It's exactly what I was looking for. I'm going to go ahead and say 193 on here because it looks like it might be clipping it just a little bit. Okay, now let's copy this real quickly. And this one was .info. Yep, .info. This should be info button, dark. All right, let me go back into here because I'm pretty sure the size is slightly different. 217 is the width, so let me go with 218 here. And that should be what I need. All right, well, let me do one more thing. Let me add a top padding here, or top margin. So let me go margin top. Let's see, our design, how far was it? It's like about 50 pixels. That's what I thought. Okay, there we have it. We've coded the hero section of our site and done CSS, and it's looking pretty good. In the next video, we'll probably go back through this code and quickly add some responsive styles to it.